Hey everybody, John here. Welcome back to another full self-driving video. Thank you so much for being patient. It has been a while since I released a video. These videos take me an immense amount of time to release. The good news with this version here with 12.5.4.2 is that I have had more than a week of testing. This video that you're about to see was filmed on October 30th, the day before Halloween, where I took it downtown Chicago for the ultimate stress test to see how well it would perform. I will say overall, the graphics are really nice and the turns to move over into another lane seem to be smoother and a little bit quicker than they ever were before. As well as the acceleration and deceleration, there seemed to have been some fine tuning on the parameters for those situations. The downsides, however, is that at green lights, it tends to slow down where it never used to before. I am hearing from other people that they are witnessing that on the previous version, 12.5.4.1. So if you were experiencing that, which I certainly was not, you may still be witnessing that with 12.5.4.2. I have not noticed any improvements with speed control necessarily, and I have tested with the speed offset turned on and off. And then the other regression that I've noticed is that it tends to miss turns sometimes. It will get over to the turn lane way too late and then tend to miss those turns. Other than that, everything else feels very similar. I really can't wait until we catch up to the AI4 or the Hardware 4 version. But until then, let's enjoy the performance as it is today. The visualizations are a lot smoother now. I have a 2019 Model 3. It's a Hardware 3 vehicle with an Intel processor. And the graphics, even with that older processor, are really nice. The cars just glide across the screen. They used to kind of jerk forward a little bit. It's very subtle. The difference isn't like, it's not gonna pop out and be like, whoa, this is way better than it ever was before. But it definitely is noticeable. You can see here when the camera view rotates, it's a little bit smoother in this latest version. With all of that said, I hope you enjoy this video. I put a lot of time and effort into it. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe if you're not subscribed. It goes a long way towards supporting me. Hit that like button and leave a comment and enjoy the video. Hey everybody, welcome back to another full self-driving video. My name is John and I film self-driving here in the city of Chicago. I have the newest, latest version for Hardware 3. This is version 12.5.4.2. We're gonna put it to the test like we usually do here. It's the ultimate stress test, as I like to say, downtown Chicago, where you don't really have many painted lines, a lot of chaos and stuff going on. We're gonna see, it's about 5 p.m. We're gonna test it out. Okay, so I have had a lot of coffee right now, so I'm highly caffeinated, and that's either a good or bad thing. We are ready to go. Let me just show you the route that I have planned out. If I go to edit trip, we have the Fairmont, Chicago, we have Nike, Chicago, the Trump International Tower, and then the Chicago Theater, and then ending up at the Willis Tower, formerly the Sears Tower. So this gives you an idea of where we are headed. So I'm just gonna say done, and we're ready to go. I just need to put the car into drive. And the minute I go, it's going to take off and go full screen. And there is a setting in the autopilot menu. Let me just show you that. If I scroll down, expanded full self-driving visualization. What that does is immediately when you turn it on, it goes full screen. I do have the automatic set speed offset turned off. Let me turn that on. And then also, I have it set in the assertive setting. It's, I think, a nice thing for people to see some of these settings. There have been no new settings added and no real release notes mentioned. This is a point release. I think it's before we get version 12.5.6 or version 13. It's a big debate whether the full self-driving will jump straight to 13 or whether there are going to be additional point releases. To be honest, this one surprised me. I was not expecting a 4.2 release here coming out. So let me just change the map view here back to this view, and we're going to take off. It looks like it allows me to turn it on from here. turn it on, and we do have all of our cameras rolling here today, including one in the back that's going to take account of, you know, anybody coming up behind me. I'm going to turn this light on down below so you can see the pedals, and we are probably going to end up where it's dark outside. I already turned the night mode on. The visualizations seem a little bit smoother potentially compared to the previous version. Here we go. We're taking off. So we're going to get a little bit of a mix here with city street driving and then highway driving. We're going to be on the highway here going into the city. Looks like after this stop sign we'll be turning right to get onto the highway. This version does not combine the city, street, and the highway stacks. We're still separated right now. I don't know if you noticed that there was some hard braking there. Not sure what that was for. I was keeping an eye open. Maybe there was a cyclist or something. I'm not sure what it saw. Gonna have to go back and zoom in to see what happened there, but that was a very sudden brake event. Sure enough, the visualizations show the cyclist coming out into the road, even though it had already turned. It was a little bit late to display the cyclist and also respond. In my opinion, better safe than sorry here. Let's take a look at this merge behavior here. Left turn signal is on. Watch the wheel. Okay, that was smooth. If you're in standstill traffic, and this is the third thing that I've noticed, watch what it does here. Okay, that was smooth getting over. If the traffic is slow and it changes lanes, the steering wheel, now here we might see it, it's gonna have to find a gap with the traffic on the left. It's trying to get over one more lane. You can see the intent with the blue lane there, and you can see the tentacle. It's trying to go left. Watch this. The steering wheel goes very quickly. It jerks over to the left. Okay, there it was going fast enough. If it's going slow, it will just immediately go boom, straight over. We are in the right turn lane here. This is the first time it's done this, and we need to go straight. Changing lanes, it was putting on the left turn signal, but it wasn't actually, it was going to go right instead of going left like it needed to. So that's a disengagement. I'm going to report that. That's the first time it's done that. So little things like that. Lane selection is the next regression. Unfortunately, I haven't noticed any significant improvements. The only areas that I've recognized have been regressions, unfortunately. Some hesitation there to get over into this lane. I'm going to slow this down just so we can analyze exactly what happened here, because this is the first time this has ever happened before. You can see the intent here is to go right, which is correct, to get onto Lower Wacker Drive. But then watch what happens here. Just as it's about to follow the path that it set out to go on, it immediately turns its left turn signal on as if it's going to go into the other lane. I have no idea why. Then it changes its mind in a split second to go back to its original route. That was very noticeable with the steering wheel there. So our directions here, it's saying now Wacker Drive. Let's see what it mentions here for the GPS. Upper Wacker Drive. It used to go to Lower Wacker Drive. That's fine. We're going to end up on Lower Wacker Drive anyway at some point, because that is the path to get to Fairmont, Chicago. And this entrance is perhaps more interesting because it's in the middle of the road, and I've been trying desperately to teach self-driving how to get down there by disengaging, because it's missed it now twice. And it needs to get over to the left. I would be over there right now, because we need to get over there for this next intersection. It's actually two straight ahead where we need to go down to Lower Wacker Drive. And you can see on the GPS it's saying Lower Wacker Drive. That is where we're headed. And when you go down into Lower Wacker Drive area, you're underground, and always, every single time, I lose GPS connectivity. As I mentioned in my video last night, my first impressions video, whenever there is a point release, it's always these tweaks to different parameters. Now we need to get all the way over, so if the turn signal doesn't go on now, I'm gonna have to force it. Okay, go, go, go. Okay, good. We need to go one more. I almost took over there. Come on, do it. You can do it. Get over. No, 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 come on. This is where it always misses. I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. Nope, it's not doing it. I'm gonna do both, a voice note and every time misses this entrance to Lower Wacker Drive. Just realized we need to turn it back on again. Okay, so we are ready to go. It's a green light. Hopefully it doesn't slow down here. Come on, go through the yellow. Yes, okay, good. Great, turn signal is on. Let's see if it actually changes. Okay, good. We haven't had full self-driving in this right lane for a while. Now, there's a barrier up here that, this is going back a couple versions. I think it was 12.3.6, maybe the one right before that. The car almost went directly into the barrier. This is the barrier right here. It stayed clear of it. The time where it hesitated, where I had to take over, there was a car in front of me that went over to the right. And it's hard for me to jump to a conclusion on this, but I thought possibly it was trying to follow them. It seemed to have gotten a little bit confused. But already I'm getting the message on the screen, poor GPS location accuracy. Okay, this next intersection, we need to go right. The past couple of drives, it's been blocked. This road has been closed off for what I believe is some construction. Looks like it's open now, so we should be able to go through here. All right, the challenge begins. This is a very difficult left turn. I'd say 8 or 9 out of 10 times it does not do it correctly. Okay, it was doing it incorrectly, trying to go around on the other side there, so I did have to take over there. That's a very tough one for it to know where to go. All right, if you enjoy ASMR, you will enjoy this. I'm going to shut up and you can just watch what happens here. It arrives at its destination and basically pulls over as I delete the waypoint. Pay special attention to the steering wheel and look at this taxi cab on the left. A text message comes in from an unknown number, so I just ignore that here. Great caution for that pedestrian. That was really well done. I had just changed the waypoint. I had to delete that one out, and we're waiting for the GPS location to come back. Let's see when that changes. Poor GPS location accuracy. All right, take a look at this. We've got a lot of buses over here. We're going to be turning right onto Michigan Avenue up here. We have a cyclist on our left that's wanting to move over, and we need to get all the way over right now to turn right. And it intelligently saw that car trying to go down that other road, skipped past them. We have a cyclist coming up behind us, and they're going to go to the right of our vehicle, and we need to turn right here. So it is a red light, not a good time to go. As soon as it turns green, we are going to have a lot of pedestrians crossing this intersection. This is probably one of the busiest intersections in Chicago. But this is Michigan Avenue, and we have the museum campus behind us. There's, I think, the Buckingham Fountain, the Millennium Park. Museum campus is a little bit further south, I will have to say. Usually there's a lot of activity in this area, so it gets pretty exciting, but my favorite part of this journey is coming up near the Nike Chicago store. It is a series of roads where we do a circle going around, and it is really fun to test. Some people have said, well, this route, you keep testing the same route, of course it's going to get better. And that is not true. Self-driving treats every situation different. It's not programming itself for certain routes. And people, a lot of people have believed, and this was based on an article that was published, and my brother jumped on me right away when he saw it, that Tesla has been curating their self-driving software for these content creators that are going around these specific routes. And that is false. That is absolutely untrue. And I can say that with 100% certainty. That is categorically false. The situation up here is absolutely fascinating. A couple things. There's a cyclist doing a wheelie, and it is really awesome how talented they are. I always think that these people are going to hurt themselves or fall down, but it's pretty cool what this guy does. Now look at this. The car is trying to get all the way over to the right, which it does successfully, but then it realizes that it needs to get back over to the left. So this behavior where it changes its mind quickly is still happening with 12.5.4.2. Happened before with the previous version. But take a look at this. It's trying to squeeze in. It gets so close to this car here on the left, and look, this car behind me is closing the gap. Now look, here comes this cyclist. Wow, I've never seen it creep so close to the car like that. That's a very first time I've seen that. Let's do a replay with the cyclist first, and then we'll see how close it gets to this other car. I just thought that was the coolest thing. It was definitely a first for me. That was really different for me. It got really, really close and was forcing, it basically forced itself in. That was very subtle. It slowed down to leave a gap for that intersection, not knowing if it would be really congested up above. In front, this bus is coming really close. They want to go around, it looks like. And my car is very aware of that. It's slowing down for caution, it seems. But that was nice because it felt like it was trying to avoid blocking the intersection. And you could tell it was really trying to make a decision. Should I go? Should I stay? Now look at this. We have the bus over to the right. My car is going into the gap. That bus, it looks like they're going to be going right. Okay, so it's taking a little bit of a different route here, going left at this one, and it's got to duck over there real quick. It was a little bit slow to do that, but it did get over into this lane just in time. Usually we go right here, and for some reason it decided to take a different route, which I'm fine with if we pull over. And this is exactly why I mentioned that these routes are not curated or cherry-picked by Tesla to improve. Okay, lane selection, we're kind of in the middle. Car right behind us. This is a four-way stop. Come to a full stop there, 0 miles an hour, and then coming forward, beautifully executed there. And here we're going to turn left. We have a green light here and it's pausing for these people, and it shouldn't be doing that. So it should keep going. I had to press on it a little bit, got a little bit awkward. So they were probably thinking, oh, well, we can go now. And then it wouldn't have been the right thing to wait at a green light like that. Very slow in here. Green arrow, hesitating, and now going for it. Now we have someone crossing here, slowing down nicely for them. They actually stopped, allowed my car to go, because it was a green arrow. So the car was the traffic was supposed to be going. That lady just went at the last second. Okay, we need to keep going straight here. So our final destination is right up here. And thankfully nobody behind us. I'm just gonna go ahead and delete this. Edit trip, done. Okay, so left turn signal's on. It's trying to go to the Chicago Theater, which is immediately to our left right now. And thankfully now it rerouted. So we're gonna go straight here through a couple intersections, moving over in front of that bus. You be hyper aware when you change waypoints. I mentioned that in my previous video. So in cities, it operates relatively nicely, I would say. And that's just because you're kind of gridlocked. You have a lot of different cars around you. It can take cue from those, although I don't think it necessarily does. But you have a lot of situations where it can follow the lights and just basically fit in. Whereas if you are in, I have a gentleman in a Model 3 up there waving, but in a country roads environment, that's where you get some interesting scenarios. So I tested country roads where it was 2 lanes, 1 on each side, and you had dashed lines. What would happen if your vehicle slows down? A vehicle in front of you slows down. Imagine you have like a tractor or something. The question is, will a Tesla pass that slow-moving vehicle? Some very interesting results in that video. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Now here we have a lot of people and we're turning right. We're waiting for a gap and the car in front of us is also waiting for a gap. We have someone immediately behind us. It needs to go right now after these people. Okay, good. Well done. And it avoided the bus lane. Beautiful. That was very human-like. And I've had a cyclist, ooh, look at this, going around them. Nice. Okay, left turn signal is on. Somebody behind us, they're turning left. Let's see if it gets over there. There's a parked car. Nice. It avoided going over there until after that parked car. That was great. Now, I hardly even saw that car. That was really well done. It easily could have gotten stuck behind that parked car. That was incredible. And here's this lane I'm talking about. This right lane is shared with cyclists. I don't see any cyclists right now, but in one situation, it just handled it perfectly. The cyclist was right in front of me. It slowed down. It followed them. It didn't do anything awkward. Look at this. Self-driving is really nice. This version is very courteous. It's like, hello, yeah, you could go. It's a green light. And we're going to miss it. That was cool. It was like, hey, yeah, we see you. Yeah, we know that you're going. Okay, go ahead. I can't say I would have been that nice if I was driving myself, but hey, I'll let it give them that. I wish there was a button on my screen where I could just say like well done or like a clap icon or something. Tesla really needs to add something like that, because the good moments also need to be highlighted. And that's one thing I really don't like about the mainstream media. They always talk about the accidents, but they're never talking about the lives that have been saved and all the incredibly amazing moments that full self-driving has done where a human may not have been paying attention closely enough. So this drive has been very reliable for me. I mean, I felt very safe the whole way. Oh, it's turning right early. We really needed to turn right. That is interesting. So that's happened in previous versions where it seems to have a mind of its own and it doesn't exactly follow the route. So we're going to let it kind of reroute. It's trying to get over to the left. We have a car in the left. Oh, it's going to the right now. What is it doing? This is weird. And this is a right turn lane. Absolutely bizarre. And now it's trying to get back over to the left. What in the world? And we have a cyclist right behind us. Better not go. Okay. Cyclist is behind us, but it's going and slowing. Ooh. Car right there in the UPS truck. That was a close call. It is all over the place right now with the turn signal. And just sloppy, if you ask me. It needs to go left here, and we're going to miss it. Okay. Okay, and it's going through the intersection. You can see my hand is just hovering here. I'm ready to take over any second. That was very sloppy. I don't know what it was doing. I'm going to report that. Hopefully that gives enough of a buffer to send that video clip over to Tesla, but that was not the right thing to do. I don't understand why it did what it did there. It got in the right turn lane and then realized at the very last second, oops, I shouldn't be here. Crazy. Green light, nobody behind us, got a lot of traffic. We have to yield to them here. We do have a cyclist. We have people crossing the road up here. You can see it on the visualizations. It's already saying autopilot navigation complete, but you can see these pedestrians crossing here, and it's waiting for the gap. Really, I would have gone. I would have taken that, even though we have that car coming. Yeah. Thankfully, nobody behind us. That would be a situation where someone may have honked at us. So we have arrived. This is our final destination. Looking up here to the left, this is the Willis Tower. I'm just going to do what this car is doing here. Come over to the side, put my hazards on, and just dismount my camera gear here real quick. So in summary, it operates very similarly to previous versions. A couple regressions that I've noticed here in the 2 days of testing. One is that it tends to, with lane selections, be a little bit awkward. However, it's a lot more assertive than it used to be with making those lane changes, but it seems to do them too late, and then often that you'll miss turns. That's happened before, but the frequency with which it's happening now is higher than it happened in previous versions. Also, the brake events that happen around green lights, especially in the suburbs, it's not the right thing to do. I'm not happy with that at all, and that is another regression that I've noticed. Speed control on the highway, it seems to be the same as before. I don't notice any differences with speed control with this version. The visualizations seem to have been improved a little bit. I like that. They're a little bit smoother. I feel like they're a little bit more liquid and not as jerky. So that is an improvement that I noticed. And the last thing I wanted to mention is it slows down pretty quickly in certain situations. So hopefully this was informative for everybody. If you learned something, or if you're dreading getting this update, or maybe you're really looking forward to getting this update, let me know down in the comments below. And if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. I do have a Patreon as well. You're welcome to jump on there. I do provide insider tips and early access to some of my videos, as well as upcoming news about what videos I'm going to be publishing, and private chats, all sorts of fun stuff on the Patreon site. If you're not following me on X, also check me out there, and definitely hit that like button. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great one.